Hey guys, Ray here. I just wanted to do a quick thank you from a post I did. I think it was right around 24 hours ago. I posted this sometime yesterday afternoon. Let me just share my screen here so y'all can see what I'm talking about. But I made a post talking about the end of PDOCS. Again, about 18 comments and maybe 30 reactions there, but I got some really great comments. I got a whole bunch of DMs too. Hey man, I saw your post. Hey, what's going on with PDOCS? So thank you for everybody that reached out. Thank you for the kind words. I kind of mentioned in here, and you guys can go look at the post wherever this video is. I'll link it down below if you haven't seen it or you want to go read it. Um, but basically, I just wanted to highlight what a couple people said, and it's again kind of reiterating what I covered and what I wrote in the post. So, Nelly, a past PDOCS client and student, sad to read indeed. And then will you still be part of the audience lab team? Actually, I got that question in text messages, in these comments, and in my DMs. And just to be very clear, because I got it so many times, I guess there was some confusion there. So Audience Lab and PDOCS are totally separate entities. I am co-owner of Audience Lab. I am an active part of the team. I'm director of client relations and work very closely, and a majority of my time is spent in that business. Matter of fact, as Audience Lab has been ascending and growing the last couple of years, PDOCS has slowly been dissolving, and it's really where my time and things, my time, effort, resources, and focus is much more better spent, and just that's where my time is more at. So that was one of the big reasons. There's all kinds of reasons, and again, I mentioned some in the post. It's not necessarily about that, but I like recapping, like Osman, a very good client and somebody I consider a friend more so, as I wrote in the post, just really what was kind of emotional and bittersweet writing this was, thinking back to a lot of the relationships that I forged, a lot of the friendships I've forged, right? But hey, it's beautiful and sad to read. I know how much you cared about PDOCS and us as clients. Look forward to seeing more of your success consulting. Or I can't stress enough how much y'all have changed my life for the better. You saw the full circle, and now, Audience Lab has rocket strapped to its back in terms of how quick it's growing. Blake, still use PDOCS daily and as a media buyer, and I'm spending millions on ads. Or Joe, I still have Joe's testimonial from when he and I probably met on a one-on-one call some odd 5 years ago ish, give or take a couple of months. I think it was right around this time. No, it was actually closer to 6 years ago. I believe it was in 2020 in the spring or summer when he and I had this conversation. But either way, 5 or 6 years ago, Joe was one of our earlier success studies, clients, case studies, and somebody that I grew to respect very much. Joe was one of the people I loved working with. His intellect, his business acumen, his dedication, setting goals and deadlines, and holding himself accountable. Just everything you want in a client that you're going to be working with that's using your curriculum. But Joe goes on to say again, still use PDOCS to this day. What you guys put together is simply unmatched in the market, and it still is, and it will be. Again, as I say in the post, I'm never going to stop using it. PDOCS will and is not going to become obsolete and or ineffective. And heck, some of you guys that just maybe started following me or seeing this video for the first time, you know, what's interesting is a lot of you guys might not even know what PDOCS is. So as it's kind of dissolving as a company in a monetary aspect, the methodology and the acronym will remain. And just like Joe and Blake said down in the comments, this is something I still love and use daily, and probably why I kept the company going as long as I did, because of my love and how much I use it and how much I know there's still value. But PDOCS, for everybody that doesn't know, stands for pains, desires, obstacles, common beliefs, and steroids, which is just another word for attention grabber in the market. I always joke PDOCS sounded a lot better than PDOCA, so that's why the S is on the end. And those are 5 components that are used in pretty much everyone's core marketing when you're coming up with messaging, hooks and angles, knowledge gaps to take to your market, ad creative and copywriting, all that kind of stuff. So again, just wanted to thank you guys. I also think I may have had a couple comments. Let me just check real quick before I log off here in my PDOCS group where I posted this, and probably didn't get as many people seeing it as my main page, because PDOCS group has maybe 3,000 members and my page has over 6,000 and just more reach and stuff. But I used a different image in here because more people know, me from this offer, especially the last couple of years, where my 2 business partners had really just been solely focused on Audience Lab and were no longer even a part of the PDOCS team. I still was. So couple comments in here too. Daniel, which was one of the team members that was working with me the last couple of years, and as he says, here, End of an era. Appreciate you keeping it alive for as long as you did. I can honestly say, excuse me, I can honestly say PDOCS played a pivotal role in my life, and it's still very much part of the DNA and how I look at a lot of things. Glad I got to play a small part in this journey along the way, upwards and onwards. And he's right. That's what's cool about this. A lot of people got to play a small part in this journey. As I go on to mention somewhere in here, and again, highlight this really, really quickly. But within PDOCS, we worked with over 3,000 different students and clients in a private and or paid capacity. Whether they bought maybe my $97,000 I mean 97, and that's my $97, let me correct, not 97,000, my $97 PDOCS challenge, which probably the most people bought into as it being the lowest ticket front end product, all the way through the hundreds and maybe even thousands that we worked together and a high ticket, 6K-ish capacity with one of our programs. So again, just wanted to kind of go over and highlight. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate the kind words, the DMs I received. I'm not going to bring up the DMs and text messages. I'm sure that's not really relevant to you guys, but I appreciate all the concern, the outreach, and really, everybody that was a part of this journey, as the last line of the post says, right before I sign off, right? Sincerely, thank you to all of you that trusted myself and PDOCS to grow your business. I know we made a lot of dreams come true for a lot of people, and for many of you, a lot of money too, right? Which a lot of you guys did. So, and Joe down in the comments was a great example. I remember after working together about 90 days when we did that call together, when I kind of clipped out that testimonial, we were just on a regular coaching call going over some stuff. And I just asked him, "Hey, Joe, tell me open and honestly about your experience with PDOCS here in the last 90 days. And he went on to give me this great explanation, more in depth than I would have said or thought or hoped myself. And then he went on to say, "Hey man, I made about 40K alone while I was on vacation last week. I wasn't even making 40K a month before I joined PDOCS." So again, he went from a kind of up and down, not really consistent revenue stream to where he was making more in a week on vacation than he was making of a month of running his business. So just a great example of what I was talking about here, and a great thanks to all of you guys. Appreciate you.